Does the pervasive belief in cosmic destiny, in a singular, divinely ordained partner, sometimes leave you feeling disempowered in matters of the heart, waiting passively for the universe to deliver your one true love rather than actively shaping your relational reality? This romanticized notion, while comforting, often creates a profound disengagement from personal agency in the most crucial of human connections. Carl Jung, with his nuanced understanding of synchronicity and the individuation process, implicitly recognized that while serendipitous encounters may occur, the ultimate decision of who you are meant to be with is a conscious, sovereign act of your own will and self-knowledge, not a predetermined cosmic decree. Society, often clinging to fairy tale narratives of fated lovers, inadvertently fosters a passive stance towards relationships, leading to endless waiting, missed opportunities, and the failure to cultivate deliberate, conscious partnerships. To remain perpetually reliant on external signs, to believe that your relational fulfillment hinges solely on a universal predestination, is a deeply perilous path that ultimately prevents authentic self-mastery in love and genuine, co-created unions. You may find yourself oscillating between hopeful expectation and crushing disappointment, perpetually searching for the sign or the feeling that confirms a universal decree, while perhaps overlooking viable connections or failing to invest actively in existing ones. This persistent dynamic feeling that your relational future is determined by an external force can consume your energy, breed frustration, and leave you feeling profoundly unfulfilled. This video is not a dismissal of spiritual connection or meaningful encounters. It is an immersive journey into the psychological principles of conscious relational choice, a practical manual to identify, interpret, and ultimately transcend the limiting belief that your romantic destiny is externally preordained. Prepare yourself, for the wisdom you are about to receive promises a transformative unveiling of your inherent agency in love, and the true path to creating deeply meaningful, self-chosen partnerships. The first principle we must grasp, often obscured by romantic idealization, is the principle of internal projection of the anima animus. This dictates that the soulmate or meant-to-be feeling is often a powerful, unconscious projection of your own inner idealized masculine animus or feminine anima onto an external person. While this projection creates intense attraction, the feeling of destiny often arises from the perfection of your internal archetype, not necessarily from the true compatibility of the external individual. The universe doesn't send you the one. Your unconscious projects your ideal onto someone, and your conscious mind interprets it as destiny, leading you to pursue an external reflection rather than integrate your inner wholeness. This insidious principle connects intimately with Jung's central concept of the anima and animus, the contrasexual soul images that reside in our unconscious. When these archetypes are projected, they create a powerful, magnetic pull that feels fated. Consider the ancient myth of Eros and Psyche, where Psyche falls in love with an unseen lover who is the embodiment of divine love. Her quest to reunite with him is a journey into integrating the qualities of her own anima. The initial fated feeling came from the projection of the divine masculine, a powerful internal force, onto Eros, demonstrating how the intense sense of destiny in relationships often originates from within. In the contemporary landscape, this principle manifests with chilling clarity. Someone might feel an overwhelming sense of fate with a new acquaintance, interpreting every coincidence as a sign, because that person unconsciously embodies their idealized anima or animus, rather than assessing actual compatibility. Individuals might cling to relationships that are clearly unhealthy or unfulfilling, convinced they are meant to be due to an intense initial spark that was primarily a projection, ignoring all red flags. This belief in an externally designated one prevents critical assessment and active discernment, trapping them in illusory connections. To truly leverage this principle, cultivate a rigorous awareness of the intense feelings of destiny or perfect fit. When you feel an overwhelming sense of being meant to be with someone, pause and ask, am I truly seeing this person for who they are, with all their flaws and complexities, or am I projecting an idealized image onto them? What qualities am I so drawn to that I might also possess but haven't fully integrated? Begin to reclaim these projected qualities as your own. This disciplined self-awareness will help you differentiate between a powerful unconscious projection and a conscious choice based on true compatibility, guiding you towards authentic connections rather than chasing an internal illusion. The second, shadow principle, often creating immense passivity and missed opportunities, is the principle of the avoidance of deliberate choice. This posits that the belief in a universe-ordained partner can serve as an unconscious avoidance of the hard work and inherent vulnerability of making a conscious, deliberate choice in relationships. If the universe decides, then you are absolved of the responsibility, the risk of rejection, or the effort required to build a partnership. This surrender of agency leads to endless waiting, passive dating, and a reluctance to actively invest in relationships that require conscious cultivation, perpetuating a cycle of unfulfillment while waiting for a sign. This principle directly relates to Jung's concept of the ego's fear of responsibility and the shadow's inclination towards passivity. When we externalize the power of choice, we relinquish our personal sovereignty in matters of the heart. Recall the mythological figure of Penelope, faithfully waiting for Odysseus to return, symbolizing enduring loyalty. While admirable, an over-reliance on external fate, without any active discernment or choice in her current reality, would have left her perpetually trapped. The danger lies in waiting for external affirmation, rather than actively shaping one's own relational destiny. In modern society, this manifests with heartbreaking frequency. Someone might passively use dating apps, swiping without genuine engagement, convinced that the right one will magically appear without effort. Individuals might avoid expressing their true feelings or taking risks in relationships, fearing that if it's meant to be, it will just happen, leading to missed opportunities for deeper connection. Even in existing partnerships, a reluctance to address issues or work through challenges might stem from a belief that if the relationship is meant to be, it will effortlessly survive, leading to stagnation and eventual decay. To overcome this painful illusion, begin by consciously reclaiming your agency in relational matters. When you find yourself passively waiting or hoping for a sign, pause and ask, am I avoiding the responsibility and vulnerability of making a deliberate choice here? Am I waiting for the universe to do my work for me? Practice actively engaging in relational discernment, clearly defining your values, communicating your needs, and making conscious decisions about who you want to invest your time and energy in. This conscious act of deliberate choice will transform your approach to relationships from passive waiting to active co-creation, opening the door to genuine connection. The third shadow principle, often leading to profound disappointment, is the principle of the unexamined need for external validation of happiness. This posits that the belief in a meant-to-be partner often stems from an unconscious need for external validation of your own happiness. If the universe sends you someone, It implicitly confirms your worth and ensures a universally sanctioned path to joy, absolving you of the internal work of cultivating inner contentment. The individual seeks not just a partner, but a cosmic stamp of approval on their life's trajectory, leading to profound disappointment when relationships don't fit the fated narrative, and a failure to recognize that true happiness is an inside job. This deep-seated principle is closely linked to Jung's concept of the ego's dependency on external mirrors for validation, and the shadow's belief that happiness is solely contingent on external circumstances. If we don't feel complete within ourselves, we look for an external other to complete us. Consider the countless fairy tales where the hero-heroine's happiness is entirely contingent on finding their prince-princess charming while charming. Narratives, they often reinforce a dangerous external locus of control for happiness. True individuation involves finding contentment from within, not solely through a fated external union. In modern society, this manifests profoundly in contemporary life. Someone might obsessively seek a partner, convinced that their life will only truly begin and they will only be truly happy when their soulmate arrives, leading to perpetual dissatisfaction in their single life. Individuals might constantly compare their relationships to idealized fated couples seen in media, feeling inadequate if their own connection doesn't mirror such grand narratives. This continuous external quest for a universally validated happiness prevents the cultivation of inner joy and a robust sense of self-sufficiency. To liberate yourself from this restrictive pattern, consciously differentiate between relational connection and internal happiness. When you feel a desperate need for a partner to complete your life, pause and ask, am I projecting my need for inner happiness onto an external person? Am I expecting the universe to deliver my joy to me? Practice cultivating inner contentment and self-sufficiency, finding joy in your own pursuits, relationships, and contributions, independent of a romantic partner. This conscious act of becoming the source of your own happiness will reduce the desperate need for external validation, allowing you to attract relationships that enhance rather than define your joy. If you're finding this profound exploration of relational destiny and personal agency to be insightful and believe this message resonates with your quest for deeper self-awareness and healthier relationships, subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so you don't miss any content. That will further empower your journey towards authentic connection. If you feel a persistent yearning to break free from passive waiting and cultivate relationships built on mutual respect and genuine, conscious choice, know that this inner calling is not a fantasy. It's your authentic self preparing for a profound liberation, a reclaiming of inherent self-sovereignty, and a truly empowered way of relating. There are potent principles and practices that can illuminate this path of autonomy and self-affirmation, empowering you to live with an unshakable clarity and a profound sense of purpose. In the pinned comment, we have made available resources that were carefully crafted for souls like yours, ready to experience their most profound personal revolution. We have begun to unveil the profound truths about why you might be the one choosing your partner, not the universe, moving beyond romanticized notions of destiny to the powerful internal dynamics at play. You've seen how projected idealization, avoidance of deliberate choice, and the need for external validation can subtly trap you in patterns of passive waiting or unfulfilling pursuit. But these are merely the foundational insights. Now we delve into the more complex, yet equally vital, principles that, once understood, unlock even deeper levels of personal freedom and relational wisdom, allowing you to truly co-create the relationships you desire. The coming insights are not for the faint of heart. They require a courageous willingness to confront the hard truths of self-responsibility in love. The fourth principle, often camouflaged by a narrative of openness, is the principle of the unexamined shadow of incompatibility. This posits that when we remain passive and wait for the universe to send us someone, we often fail to rigorously examine genuine incompatibilities or red flags, justifying them away with the belief that destiny will overcome all obstacles. This leads to attracting relationships based on surface-level attraction or fleeting feelings of fate, rather than a deep, conscious assessment of shared values, life goals, and emotional maturity. The universe doesn't send you a perfectly compatible partner. It presents options, and you must discern the genuine fit, which requires confronting uncomfortable truths about what you truly need and what is truly negotiable. This perspective challenges the romantic notion that love is blind, emphasizing the necessity of clear-eyed discernment. It is intimately tied to Jung's concept of the shadow of denial and the repression of inconvenient truths about others or ourselves. If we deny incompatibility, it will inevitably manifest as conflict later. Consider the numerous tragic love stories where passionate beginnings quickly devolve into bitter endings due to fundamental differences that were ignored in the initial rush of fated attraction. The danger lies in relying solely on an ethereal connection without the grounding of practical and psychological compatibility. This profound principle plays out in myriad ways in contemporary life, often unnoticed. Someone might constantly find themselves in relationships with partners who have vastly different life goals. For example, one wants children, the other doesn't, convincing themselves that love will find a way, only to face inevitable heartbreak. An individual might ignore glaring red flags in a new partner's behavior, for example, financial irresponsibility, emotional volatility, justifying them away as part of their unique charm, because they believe this person is the one. This continuous dismissal of genuine incompatibilities under the guise of trusting the universe leads to profoundly unfulfilling and often painful unions. To embrace the principle of the unexamined shadow of incompatibility, cultivate a rigorous commitment to self-awareness regarding your non-negotiables in a partner. When you feel a strong sense of attraction or destiny, pause and also ask, what are the practical and emotional realities of this person? Are there fundamental incompatibilities that I am overlooking or dismissing? Create a clear list of your core values and deal breakers. Practice engaging in honest, open conversations about these crucial aspects early in relationships. This conscious act of discerning true compatibility, rather than relying on a fated ideal, will lead to more grounded, sustainable, and genuinely fulfilling connections. Finally, we encounter the most profound and often the most liberating shadow principle, the principle of the sovereign act of relational creation. This posits that ultimately, who you are meant to be with is not a person found, but a relationship created through conscious effort, shared commitment, mutual growth, and deliberate choice. The universe may provide opportunities or encounters, but the profound, enduring connection you desire is a co-created masterpiece, forged through your active participation, your vulnerability, your boundaries, and your unwavering decision to choose that person every single day. Your destiny in love is not bestowed, it is built. This intricate principle transcends passive waiting and moves into radical empowerment. It is the recognition that love is not solely a feeling, but a verb, ongoing process of choice and action. Jung's individuation process culminates in an individual who can engage consciously with the world from a place of wholeness, taking responsibility for their creations. Consider the archetype of the divine blacksmith or master builder who actively forges their destiny through skill, dedication, and conscious effort. Their creations are not accidental. They are the result of deliberate choice and sustained engagement, demonstrating that the most profound bonds are those consciously chosen and continuously built. This manifests in countless ways in contemporary life, profoundly impacting relational dynamics. Couples who actively work on communication, respectfully navigate conflict, and consistently choose to invest in their shared future are building a meant-to-be relationship, regardless of initial fated feelings. Individuals who commit to therapy, grow personally, and then consciously choose a partner who aligns with their evolved self are creating their relational destiny. Even in long-term friendships, the bonds that endure are those where both parties actively choose to support, nurture, and grow together, rather than passively relying on initial chemistry to fully integrate the principle of the sovereign act of relational creation. Commit to actively choosing, cultivating, and co-creating your relationships. When you meet someone new, shift your mindset from, "Is this the one the universe sent me?" to, "Is this someone I want to choose to build something meaningful with?" Practice conscious commitment, clear communication, and consistent effort in your relationships. Recognize that the meant-to-be feeling is not an initial spark, but a profound sense of alignment and shared purpose that grows from deliberate choice and mutual dedication. This conscious and unwavering commitment to active relational creation is the ultimate path to building the deepest, most resilient, and genuinely fulfilling connections. We have embarked on an arduous yet ultimately liberating journey, confronting the profound truths about how you decide who you are meant to be with, moving beyond the comforting but limiting myth of cosmic destiny. From the internal projection of the animus to the sovereign act of relational creation, each principle, once illuminated, empowers you with profound agency and clarity. Together, these insights form a comprehensive framework, enabling you to not merely wait for love, but to actively choose, cultivate, and co-create the most meaningful relationships in your life. This integration of rigorous self-awareness and courageous choice is the very essence of genuine relational mastery. In the comments below, share which of these 5 principles of relational choice resonates most deeply with your own experience, and what small, actionable step you plan to take this week to exercise more agency in your relationships. If this deep exploration of relational destiny and the profound journey of conscious connection speaks to your soul, subscribe to the channel to continue unlocking the intricate secrets of the human heart and cultivating a more profound understanding of true partnership. Your like is a powerful affirmation that this knowledge holds true value, and a clear signal that this journey of self-sovereignty in love is one worth continuing together.